How did I get a thumbs up already? Is there anybody even in here? No, I'm going to keep eating. I wonder if that's wide enough. Oh, where's my haze? What's up, everybody? I wanted to make this look incredible. And I was going to haze the room, and now I can't find my bottle of haze. That's a real shame. I'm not going to lie. That's a real shame. What's up? Tuning in from Houston Creative Content. It's good to comment. My bad. It's good to see you, man. Yo. Where is everybody from? Oh, that's right. I can throw these comments up on the screen. Does haze ever leave any sticky residue? No, not that I've seen. Give me a second. We'll throw some up. If I can find the damn bottle. I really didn't want to open up another one, but hey, what's up, Jonathan? How's everybody doing? Like, I know I have a bottle. I used it not too long ago. Just gonna haze the room, especially with this Pro Mist on here and this lens. Fire in the hole. And then it takes like a minute for it to settle. But once it does, it looks good. Especially with this new Nanlite Forza 60C with the projector. Thank you, Nanlights. Gods. The lighting gods. See, it looks dope. And then it'll look even better once it starts settling down. Man, we got a good little group in here. MHE Golf 12. Where's everybody come from? Good friend Tyler Edwards. Jason, what's up? Yep. Haze in the room. I could not get... I'm streaming on the KX. Honestly, it's easier than the R5C sometimes. And I could not get the audio to like work out. And so I spent all of my time tweaking on audio and eating. I'm going to be eating during this live stream. I don't give a damn. And I didn't have time to haze the room, so now you're getting it. But it's all settling in here, which is nice. Jonathan says the lighting gods. Yeah. I don't know if any of you were on the live stream last week, or I don't know if you saw the podcast that me and Josh just did. I got hooked up, like way hooked up. Basically, I'm rebuilding this entire studio. It's going to look very different than what you're seeing now. This entire wall is being replaced by concrete to give it like a cool industrial look. This wall is going to be turned into like a bright, inviting, warmth, wood pegboard wall instead of the dark one. And that dark one's going to be moved over here, and then I'll do another one over here. I'm building an entire live stream set in there. So it's going to be awesome, like a dedicated top-down area. That's why we're not doing a ton of videos this month. It's because we're going to be doing a live stream build. Anyway, long story short, I reached out to Nanlite, who makes awesome lights, and I was like, hey, I already use a ton of your products. Like, these are Nanlite tubes. My big key light is Nanlite. I've got a Forza 200. I've got another Forza product. I was like, these aren't that. Like, the tubes have broken. They were really crappy. like all the glues come off them, the buttons come off, and that's true. Like you can see the individual diodes, like they're not great. It's like, hey, if I were to do, basically you could be the sponsor of this big YouTube studio rebuild. Would you guys like to help me out? And they were like, sure. And then they sent me way more than I asked for. They sent me the brand new 30 XR tubes, which put those to shame. They're pixel tubes with DMX control. And I asked so I could put everything on one app. I hate like having to like flip on a light here and then go flip on a light here. Or if I do have apps, there's like 4 different apps because of all the different brands. So Nanlite was super cool, and they just completely over delivered. And so I'm stoked. But anyway, this is going to be a really big video, and so it just means less of the weekly videos that I'm doing. Once that's out of the way, we get back into the driver's seat. Oh, so many comments already. Let's do this. There's also the ghetto option of just dusting your carpet and sofa pillows and letting the dust particulate be your volumetric light. Oh, good use of the word volumetric. That's super funny. Yeah, I listened in on the pod. I really enjoy every one of them. So thank you so much. It's so funny because, you know, this is the live stream to the main channel, which is like my tech and fitness. And so many of you follow me from like the camera channel, and then the podcast that Jonathan's talking about. I co-host a podcast with my good friend Josh Satin. Josh, if you're in here, oh, can I do the thumbs up? Is it going to register? No, I didn't turn them off. Anyway, we do a podcast called 16 Stops, and we just geek out on like camera stuff. This is an AMA. Feel free. I've been much more rigid in the past. Like, let's keep it about tech and fitness. I don't give a shit at this point. I'm just stoked that you guys are here. So any questions you might have, fire away. Let's see. I do have an agenda though. All right. I don't want this to be just fucking Mad Max and the Thunderdome, a free for all. Got my field notes. Some things that I wanted to cover because you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna want to know. Oh, studio rebuild. Already covered that, but I would love to know recommendations for tools and materials. So for tools, I've got to be able to cut these big old huge plywood sections, and I also have to cut this faux concrete paneling. I'm not a builder. I don't build things. I'm not good with my hands unless it's video games. Please let me know what you have recommendations to cut that stuff, make it easier. And then also when it comes to the actual plywood pegboard wall, what kind of wood do you suggest? I want something that's very light colored, nothing dark. So let me know in the comments. There's a lot of them, so it's going to take me a sec to get to them. Let's see. Colin, congrats on the dirty 30. I appreciate it. I actually just hit 31. I mean, now we're being picky, but I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. This year's been a weird year. The channel was like taking off, and then it about a year and a half ago. And I got a hold of a friend. His name's Tyler. He's like a YouTube manager, and he just helped me figure out like what was really valuable to me and what would be more valuable to the community. And that was just a really long, slow process, but it's starting to pick back up again. And I'm pumped because this is a great job. I don't want to lose this job. And I definitely want to continue to provide valuable information for you guys on the tech fitness front. Have a good time doing it, and hopefully do some cool kick-ass giveaways along the way. My garage studio has perpetually been under construction for the last year. Mine would probably be that way if I didn't have a contract that I signed that was like, you have to have this done by the end of December. That's the driving force in my life. Contracts. Jason, question. Is there a point where Whoop is not essential because it has trained you to understand your body better? I'm at that point where I know what 90 to 60%, 45%. I get what you're saying. And I think, yeah, for a lot of people it could. I've definitely told many people, hey, think of this as an experiment, a 6-month experiment, a year-long experiment, and operate it that way. And the amount of info you could learn in that time is pretty incredible. I've been a member for 4 years. However, I'm still learning new things. And also, I like to run experiments. Like, I'm just not done. Like, I'm not, when I train for Worlds, that's like its own experiment. I'm going to be experimenting with ketones and ketosis. That's going to be an experiment. Whoop is going to be vital in helping me figure that out. Plus, oh, this is great. New Whoop update. This is a perfect transition. Nice work. Plus, there's really cool updates that are always coming out. And I think next year Whoop is going to drop a new Whoop, the 5.0. But the update that's slowly being rolled out, so if you don't have it, that's why. They do it so if they have a major bug, it doesn't affect everybody. It just affects a few people. But they're doing weekly plans now. What's cool about it is you can put in all of your goals for the week. Like, hey, I need this much rest. I need this kind of strain, blah, 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 blah. And it'll help you through that, which I think is really cool. So I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, I think since Whoop is always evolving and you're probably going to evolve, it goes beyond just knowing where you're at recovery-wise, if that makes sense. Raphael, dude, how was The Abyss? Raph went and saw The Abyss in theaters last night, and I'm so jealous. It was one of my favorite movies of all time. I wish I could see it in the theater. I checked here, didn't see a single theater that had it. Also, Raphael is just a monster when it comes to video and editing, and he's super supportive. Raph, thank you so much. Really appreciate the donation a few weeks ago. Just way above and beyond. Jonathan asks, how do you like the Nanlite app? I'm deciding between which ecosystem to get into. The Nanlite app has been excellent for me. I really enjoy it. I've had no connection problems. That being said, all of the new stuff is still kind of in the package because it's kind of a part of the video of me taking it out. So I haven't thrown everything on there. And these tubes can't be run by the app. I have a remote for them, right? So I can turn them off. Oh shit, this actually turned that one off. What the hell? That's weird. Anyway, this remote turns all those off, turns them all on. It's just got a little Velcro here. Stick it below my desk and we're good to go. How much does each tube retail for? So this is what blew my mind because I asked for 4. I was like, listen, the reason I want the 30Xs, not the XRs, is they're built better and those aren't built very well. And the diffusion is much better. And at 1%, it's a little more toned down. It's not peaking like this and you can't see the individual LEDs. And so they sent me 8 of the XRs and those retail for like almost $600 a piece. So they sent me like, Jesus, $5,000 in tubes? More than that? 8 times 6, 48. Yeah, like $5,000 in tubes. Plus they sent me the new Pavo Slim 60C, which is so cool. I freaking love this. I actually have, just down here on the floor, the Aperture P60C. I hate this light. This light sucks. I don't know why people praised it. I went off YouTuber praise, got one. Like the first week I had it, the goddamn attachment like broke inside. So I couldn't even use it like this. Thankfully, I found a yoke on Amazon built specifically for this. So I ordered it. Now I'll be able to use it again. But the softbox broke. Just taking it out. The ergos suck. There's nowhere to hold on to this thing, and it's very heavy. So I guess if you can look past all of that, it's good. But the Pavo Slim is like 1/10 of this weight, and it's every bit as powerful, and it does cooler stuff. So check out the Pavo Slims, the 60 and the 120. Can't wait to use them. And then they also sent me the Forza 60C and the projector. And that's how I'm doing like this little sliver of light. And they came with all the gobos and everything. I'm so pumped. Can't wait to use them on like client shoots. So with like the Pavo tubes, I can keep 4 in here. Take those 4, I'll use those for the live stream, and then I'll have a set of 4 that I can use on client jobs, and I can just keep them packed. This is a great question. What supplements do you take, Brandon? Protein, creatine, greens? all three of them. I'm not a huge supplement guy. Whey protein I take. I try to get a whey protein isolate. It's just a little easier on my stomach than the concentrate. Creatine. Is it crealkaline? Or creatine hydrochloride. Can't remember. It's concrete. It's that patented one, concrete, that came out like 10 years ago. Longer than that. And then what was the other? Creatine greens. I do take a greens. I take Ghost. The Ghost greens because they taste good and they're actually pretty well dosed. Virtually all greens supplements are horribly underdosed. Like AG1 is so underdosed, there's no point in buying it. It makes no sense at all, especially for like $100 a month. So I take those. I have a supplement, not a supplement, a multivitamin that was like made specifically for me from Routine, Rootine. My iPad's gonna die, but I can pull it up and I'll show you what it is. Routine. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Why can't you open this page? It's not that hard. Is anybody else super bothered with the new Apple, like the way it does like intuitive typing? It bothers the shit out of me. It never works. My iPad is not connected to the internet. Anyway, routine.com, you do a blood test and you'll get an individual packet for the day. So they give you 3 months, little days, and they test your blood for vitamin and mineral deficiencies. And then you just cut the top. I pour them into some oatmeal. I eat them every day because it's not like 2 pills. They're like little teeny tiny beads. So I take that, and then also Tongkat Ali and Fedosia agrestis for testosterone support because I'm 41. Let's see. You should put those links to the other channels in the description as default set. I should, Raph. These are things I just don't think of sometimes. And that's why I'm not good at YouTube. But I appreciate that. That's super smart. I got to figure out how to do it. I'm using Ecamm. I have no idea how to use Ecamm. You can do so much with Ecamm. And I'm an idiot. Like, I've barely scratched the surface. Thunderdome does sound fun, though. Could be. Yeah, we missed Black Friday. That used to be Thunderdome. 30 to 100K is going to be faster than 1 to 30K. Good God, dude. I hope you're right. That would be amazing. But I've hit the point where it's like, just make cool shit. My buddy Josh always tells me, just make cool videos. Like, just make cool shit. And if I make cool shit, it all takes care of itself. Let's see. How has Whoop changed and evolved from when you started with it versus what it is now? Well, one, I think the company approach has evolved. If you want to take it really far back, the initial product, which was cool because I actually had hands-on with it way back when, was one upfront price of nearly $600. It was like $579, $550, something like that. It came in a pill box, like a big, they called it a puck, and that's how you charged it. And it was massive. It was like this big block, and when you put it on your wrist, it never stayed on. It fell off all the time. My buddy Casey Patterson, when they were first starting, they asked him to wear it during his volleyball tournaments. He's now retired, but he's like one of the greatest beach volleyball players ever. And it would always come off, and they would get mad at him, like, hey, you got to wear it. He's like, dude, it doesn't fit. It never works. So they've evolved from a hardware standpoint to where it's now just this little guy you slide on a battery. It's amazing. But I also think that Whoop has evolved from a very hardcore athlete focused company. Like, it's all about the best athletic performance possible. Performance. And I think they've broadened their horizons. They're looking at a bigger picture. And they're seeing people who would benefit from Whoop that aren't athletes. They just marketed to hardcore athletes. And I think they've softened that image. And you can see now with so many of their updates from like, all the stuff for women when it comes to like menopause and training while they're on cycle. All of those things have been a softening and a evolution for Whoop. That's what I've seen from it. I think they're looking at a bigger picture and a bigger community and making changes accordingly. And it's definitely helped them. Their sales and their membership has like... Okay, here we go. The Abyss was awesome in theater. Top 5 all time. Yeah, I would highly put it up there. Man, I saw that when I was so young, but that scene where he puts on his helmet and he breathes that like oxygenated water, oh man, that was a trip. And then I learned that he almost like died during that scene. Like he ended up ingesting all the water that wasn't supposed to happen. And he almost drowned on it. Let's see. Jimmy, what's up, buddy? What was the most surprising Whoop positive impact, highest positive impact? Okay, so for me, for the longest time, I knew you didn't want to eat too close to bedtime, and I thought like 2 hours was fine. But after a long time of eating that way and then starting to pull that time back further and further and seeing my respiratory rate drop, seeing my resting heart rate drop, seeing my HRV go up, seeing my recovery scores go up, that's probably been the most impactful thing I've learned while on Whoop. And I've done so many little mini experiments that I've learned some cool things. Like in order for my HRV to be in like the high 50s, 60s, low 70s, that's the tops for me. My HRV is very personalized. My wife's is like 90, my buddy Drew's is like 120. But it doesn't mean that me at 50 is not fit. But in order for me to get it that high, I have to do a ton of cardiovascular work. Like strength work doesn't work for me. It just drops. It'll like have and it'll stay there. And I'll get good recoveries, but my HRV doesn't go up. And so for me, cardiorespiratory fitness and work is the thing that improves HRV more than anything. I think also some of the stuff I learned doing the ice bath experiment was pretty revelatory. What greens supplement you have again? Ghost. That's the brand. Ghost Greens. Do you find that I think you mean creatine causes weight gain. A lot of cyclists have commented that it does. Well, creatine, most creatines, especially creatine monohydrate, well, it absorbs water. Like you're going to pull in water into the muscular cells. So you're going to hold more weight than you normally would. But that water is what increases performance. Yes, AG1 is overhyped on every pod. I don't know why my iPad is being dumb. It's never done this. Ever. Is it because I'm on the Red app? That might be it, but I don't need it anymore. Oh, I am. I'm connected to the Komodo. Uno momento. Oh, and now it's going to die. Okay, cool. So if I go to... What was I going to show you? Shit, now I can't even remember. Oh, there was a video on YouTube where, God, what is his name? He's like some Irish guy. He did a breakdown of AG1 and everything that it had in it and what was the minimum effective dose. And basically none of the things that went into AG1 actually came anywhere close to the minimum effective dose. So yeah, $100 down the drain. That's $100 a month. Yo, my wife and I have thought the autocorrect has changed since Apple. Yeah, dude, like the new like intuitive type thing is a fucking mess on the Apple ecosystem. I hate it. What features or technology do you expect from the Apple Watch 3? Apple Watch 3. So, what I would really like to see, because it was touted and rumored, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, I really sincerely think if Apple comes out with they're not the first now, but an actual functioning one, a non-invasive glucometer, if they come out with that, that would really change the landscape of wearables, for sure. That's the one thing I would like to see. Obviously, I would love to have more battery, but it's probably never going to happen in an Apple Watch. It's just not. It's not Apple's MO. But if they had the first, because there are some like Chinese knockoff shitty manufacturers that have made non-invasive glucometers, but they don't work. They're just like, hey, we make this and you can do it, but they don't work. So if Whoop makes the first one that works, or not Whoop, Apple, that's going to be a big deal. Like that will literally change the landscape of like personal home care when it comes to like diabetes and weight gain and all sorts of things. Whoop needs sex activity. Keep saying we're wrestling. Hey, at least it knows. That would be kind of funny, but like, what's the image they're going to put next to that activity, right? They got to keep it PG. Aura has a self-pleasure one. Oh, well, that's because it's freaking Aura, a bunch of whack jobs. Jer, what's up? Welcome back. How do you balance using Whoop as an informational tool as opposed to letting it dictate your day? Are you waking up feeling like you slept well, but Whoop tells you? I don't look at it. I don't look at it until, 2, 3 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, how did I do today? So it does not dictate anything I do. And one thing I learned in sports, like when I was playing volleyball, a lot of guys would use Whoop or they'd use something else. And they would like totally alter their training depending on what Whoop told them. Listen, there are days that you have to perform. You have to perform at an incredibly high level, regardless of how you feel. So I love Whoop and I use it to assess things, but at no point does it assess or dictate what I need to do that day. If I'm having like 2 nights ago, fell asleep at like 9:30. I was up at like 3, started working. I knew I was going to have to essentially put in like a 16, 17-hour day. I know I'm going to wake up with horrible recovery. I'm not going to pout about it. Like, I just got to get shit done. So, yeah, I don't let it dictate anything other than like, hey, these are the behaviors you did. This was the outcome. That's the end of it. It's not like going to be like, hey, you should really think about like chilling out, or you should go really hard today. I know me. Yeah, whack jobs at Aura. They burned bridges with their Aura 3. Kind of like not nearly as bad as Sleep Me, but Aura is one of those companies where I'm like, yeah, you're not really doing anything. You didn't deliver on any of your promises. You stole people's money, and I hope you implode. Oh, I forgot. I have an agenda. Let's see. These are great questions, by the way. Thank you for all the questions. One question that I got via Instagram, I can't show you. Am I an expert? This was an interesting question. And if you didn't know, I have been in the personal training game since 2000. Little over 21 years, 2001, I want to say. So the resume would be like a NASM Master Trainer. So that's the highest level of accreditation you can get through NASM. That's the National Academy of Sports Medicine. Not quite a CSCS, but close. And it's definitely not like a master's or a doctorate. I'm not a scientist. I'm definitely not an expert. I don't think of myself in those terms. But I do have my corrective exercise specialization, performance exercise specialization, mixed martial arts conditioning specialist, and a level 3 from Athletic Republic. That was like their highest level of training that you could get. Now, that being said, I don't consider myself an expert by any means. I think once you do that, once you kind of go, yeah, I'm that guy, I think you've kind of said to everybody, I'm done learning. I've learned all that I need to know, and that is not me. How I think of myself is a hyper passionate experimenter. Yeah, I want to learn as much as I possibly can. And I think I would say that I've learned a ton, enough to be really good at my job and former jobs. but I'm certainly, I mean, there's so many people that I could instantly point to and be like, that person's an expert. I think expert is one of those titles where you let people give you that title, but you don't. You don't take that title, if that makes sense. Raphael. Oh, what did I have? Oh, okay. That was the other part of it. Okay, so they asked, like, am I an expert? And then coaching and memberships got brought up. So I did have memberships, and that was to do a private members live stream once a month. And I, like, as soon as I started it, I felt gross about charging people to do a live stream. Will I do memberships in the future? Yes, if I can figure out like a really great way of delivering value. The live stream that I did for the members, I also shared with them a ton of the behind the scenes stuff, from like the stuff about like contracts with sponsors that I could share that isn't like NDA, to all of the videos I had planned for the next, month and a half, everything that I'm going to do in 2024. Good God. As far as it pertains to like each month, kind of the goals and the giveaways that I've planned. So I did a ton of BTS, and they were like, oh, that was really cool. So if we can figure out like what's super valuable to somebody, I'm willing to do it again. I don't do personal training one-on-one anymore. I just don't find it incredibly fulfilling. However, I've had, 4 people in the last week ask if I could help them coaching wise when it comes to like YouTube, getting a channel started and doing that. And the only reason I would charge for that is just because of the sheer amount of time. Like if you wanted an hour a week, something like that, that I would charge for just because it's a lot of time. But other than that, no coaching. There's definitely some like some of the programs that I've made for people like Mobile 90, Prime, and a few other things, Volleyvert. Those are things I might offer back in the future. I'm just not taking those types of clients right now. I just don't want to do. I've also been out of the game. I haven't trained anybody personally, like coached them, for a couple of years. And so when you don't do that, you just tend to forget, and I don't feel like I'm at the top of my game. So I don't want to take any personal clients that way. Let's see. Jason, have you used Super Sapiens? I haven't. I don't know what that is. Obviously, it's probably like a supplement or something like that. Let me know. How does your diet look like nowadays? Well, here you go. I need to finish this. My diet's like pretty consistent. I kind of went not off the rails, but I was just very much like, I don't give a shit right now for things like pizza and hamburgers and ice cream. But over the last like month and a half, very solid, because I'm really starting to enjoy cooking my own food more. I watch a ton of like chef and cooking shows, and believe it or not, that's like really influenced my drive to like make everything from scratch, which is kind of fun. Breakfast is almost always some Creatures of Habit meal one. It's like an oatmeal, but it's not. It's like 30 grams protein, 30 grams carbohydrates. It's delicious. Stuff is amazing. Creatures of Habit with a K. I highly recommend it. So I'll have that, and then I'll usually cook like 2 whole eggs and 2 egg whites. So that's typically what I do. Sometimes I'll throw in like some breakfast sausage or something. For lunch, it's almost like a ground meat and rice, or ground meat and potatoes, or a ground meat and a salad. Something like that. Something that's really easy to cook. For dinner, it just depends. Sometimes I just get a hankering for like a ton of red meat, and I'll eat a ton of that and some potatoes. But that's kind of what it is. I said earlier in this live stream that I'm going to be experimenting with some ketosis and ketones and fasting. And so I think starting next week, I'm going to be doing that. Essentially, it's just one meal a day, just dinner. And throughout the day, I'll be using ketones, exogenous ketones, ketone esters to help my brain. So I've already tried and I failed miserably. And part of the problem was it really messed with my POTS. And I think it's because my brain didn't have enough energy to like really regulate itself. And the ketone esters will give my brain a fuel source without me having to eat. So we're going to try it. We're going to try that experiment. But that's kind of what the diet looks like right now. Actually, on Sunday, we were supposed to make donuts. We were going to go to a cooking class, and they were going to teach me how to make donuts, and then they canceled that morning. So bummed. Dude, I know what you mean about feeling gross about charging people for what you're good at. Charging clients is super easy for me, but asking for money from viewers is effing weird. Yes. It does feel weird. One of the things I would really like to do with this channel is actually make some physical products, because I've always enjoyed designing and trying to bring things to fruition. And I've always had a knack for making like clever items, whether those are like t-shirts or funny things that you like, they're pointless, but you enjoy having them around. The other thing that we're working on, so many of you are kind of new this week compared to last week. I'm working on my own Whoop band because they don't exist. There's not like third party. And me and a buddy, we used to work together at Athletic Republic. He has a friend who's a textiles expert and used to design clothing. And he is helping us figure out how to create an all-new band. That's going to be awesome. You're going to really enjoy using it. A traditional band like this. And then also a whole line of like Whoop type of clothing. Whoop has their own like clothes that you can wear the Whoop in, but it sucks. Some of it sucks. I'm going to say some of it sucks. Some of it doesn't fit right. It's just kind of cheaply made. I really thought Nike or Lululemon was going to collaborate with Whoop to do it, but that hasn't happened. So I'm just going to have to make some and do a better job. That I would love to sell because I know you guys would enjoy that. Me selling like a membership or like, hey, watch this video, I'll give you free access to this video. That just seems kind of dumb. Other people do it, good for them. That's just not for me. If you want a community to fast with, Ramadan is coming up in March. Okay. Do you guys know who Drew Manning is? Fit to Fat to Fit. He's a good buddy of mine. He fasts a lot. He might join me and we might do a video. I don't want to like share too much, but that could happen. Let's see. Looking forward to seeing this keto experiment. I did keto before. I did it right when I had just got my blue belt in jiu-jitsu and I was kind of prepping for Worlds. And I used to do keto accidentally when I was playing volleyball. This was before I even knew what keto was about. But when I would go and play volleyball, I wouldn't eat at all. And I felt great. And when I ate, I tanked. So I've done keto off and on quite a bit. But I've never used ketone esters. Like real jet fuel ketone esters. They're so effing expensive. Here they are. Delta G Tactical. I bought the tactical ones because they said tactical. And I wanted to be cooler than I really am. They were like an extra $10. I'm sure they're the same thing. I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. But they're expensive. This came with 3 bottles, 2 servings per bottle. And they are like $90. So is it sustainable? Hell no. Kind of ridiculous, honestly. But sometimes you just gotta like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Pony up? I don't know. I thought I had the saying. But I'll try those. And if they work, maybe I'll get some more and I'll let you guys know about them. Oh, Jason, there you go. Yeah, what brand of ketones do you use? One more time. It's called Delta G. The ketones that I really wanted to use, they hit me up like 4 times. HVMN, I believe. They're in Park City. They're right in my backyard. The owner contacted me like 4 times, and every time I was like, dude, I'd love to do something. Let's do it. He would just like ghost me. So, I don't know. But anyway, they're patented, world record setting endurance. They're BSCG certified. But yeah, Delta ketone ester, 16 grams. There's 2 servings per bottle. Serving size is 1/2 bottle. The whole bottle is only 15 milliliters. So what's crazy is like one of the things they prescribed, like if you're doing an endurance event, was taking like 4 servings. I'm like, you want me to drink like $180 every time I go out for a run? Like, you guys are batshit crazy. Hey, it's Jason. What's up, Jason? Yo, hope all is well. Could be coming out your way early next year. Filming for Monster. Oh yeah, you told me about that. What's the chance on shooting some stuff when dude, I would love to. It just depends when. This month is totally like shot. This month is crazy. Next month, I'm going to New York for the first time in my whole life. I'm pumped. Me and my wife are going. She's doing like some big media stuff. My wife is way bigger than I am, so I just tag along with the camera. But I'm stoked. I'm stoked to go to New York and shoot. I'm just taking my camera and I'm just going to shoot and go crazy and eat pizza from the best pizza shop in the whole world, Sbarro. Hopefully you guys got that reference. And then I might do CES with a friend who he asked me if I wanted to go. But after that, I'm pretty free. I heard somewhere that Whoop Patents has the third-party market locked up. There's always a way around it. And you can't like... I'm sure they could patent something that looks exactly like this, but the idea that we have would mitigate that. So... you can't like patent accessories, unfortunately. Love to know how much better HVMN, which is on every pod. Here's the like ketone esters are ketone esters. I don't know what they're doing to make it better. Something tells me they're probably the same, and they're all super expensive. Just FYI. Cycling World is on ketones. Most pro riders drink 200. Yeah. Yeah, that I mean, like when you have a company that's giving it to you, it's pretty easy. But if you're broke and not a pro like me, that's hard. That's really hard. Oh, did I get through all of these? Yeah, kind of did. At this point, if you've enjoyed the session so far, please hit the like button. Guys, thanks for being here. What time is it? 2:40. We've already done 43 minutes? That's impressive. A buddy of mine is doing a lot. So many of you are coming from like a camera background. Scott Balcom always holds his mega live streams Friday at like 3. So go check him out after this one, after we're done here. Let's see. Creative comment. Checking out the ghost greens. Which one do I have? I think I have the pink lemonade, actually. I think that's the one I have, and I do enjoy it very much so. Let's try the iPad. Did it die? It's dead now. God. Raph, how do I use my screen as a thing? Oh, I can use my phone? No way. That just doesn't make sense. Let's go on to Ghost. Oh, I think I have their app, actually. Ghost. Will this work? It says click to start. Oh, there we go. No, that's not what I want. That's just a... Sorry, that was weird. It like took over. Hopefully I was going to show you my screen. That didn't work. So let me try something else. Move this over here. Oh, my comments are gone now. Comments over here. That is one nice thing about Ecamm. You can just kind of move things wherever you want it. Ghost supplements. And I like Ghost. I think they make a decent product, and they're very upfront about what they put in it, which is always nice. Not like a lot of other brands that hide all of their stuff behind proprietary blends. So right now, it doesn't even look like they have the one that I have. Guava berry, original. Yeah, they don't. The one that I had was pink lemonade. And it's pretty good. Anyway. That wasn't nearly as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Not going to lie. Oh, I was going to say, since there are quite a few of you coming from the camera channel, I'm working on a huge video. I've been working on this video since early October. I've reshot it twice now. I've reshot multiple scenes, probably a handful of times, but it's almost done. It's almost done. All I've got to do now is start the grade and start the sound design. But that I'm really hoping that it's going to come out Tuesday. So that's the Caffeine and Cameras channel. Where's my comments? I'll throw it in the comments. I think it's called Caffeinated Cameras now. I don't even know Pretty sure that's the channel name. It's my channel. I don't know the name of it. But anyway, hopefully that video goes up Tuesday. It would mean the world to me if you went and watched it, if it does come out Tuesday. What is it? Basically one day, Jared Land, the owner of Red, reached out to me and was like, "Hey dude, do you want a camera?" I was like, this is wild. There's no way that's actually Jared Land. He doesn't know who I am. But it was Jared. And he basically was like, "Hey, I got a really special camera. It's the only one that exists. It's the only one on planet Earth. Do you want to use it during your next adventure?" And so I got a hold of one of my good friends who's way better at cinematography and video than I am. I was like, "Hey, come to Utah and I will show you some of the craziest things you've ever seen, and you can help me make this video." And that's what we did. We shot some stuff with a 1-of-1 camera, and it's the images it makes are bananas. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, that should come out on Tuesday. I would love for you to go and watch it. And also just tell Jared thank you for being cool and letting a nobody borrow like a $70,000 camera. And I didn't break it. It's actually kind of fun. Where's his last text? One of his text messages to me was like, "Listen, I got 2 rules. If you make something cool, you got to show me. And 2, don't break it." I was like, "Okay, you got it." So that is coming. Go check out the new podcast that me and Josh just dropped. It's 2:49. We're having a lull in the comments. I'm doing the best I can to save it right now. You can probably tell that. And then we're making a new podcast pretty soon. And I think that one's going to be one where I get real upset about a lot of stuff, because so much of it is me just like going, why are people such morons? Why aren't they making these things already? Alrighty. Okay, so I got through everything I needed to get through. If you have any, this is where my computer screen is, so if I'm not looking right there at your beautiful faces, it's because I got comments over here, then the screen, camera. If you have questions, now's the time. Hit me. Let's we can go for another 10 minutes if that's cool. I would go a lot longer, but with just 4 people in the stream, I doubt that's going to be the case. So we'll give it 10 minutes. I will entertain you as best as I can. And then I got to run. I got taxes and food to eat. Listen, this is why you should ask me questions, because if not, I'm just going to eat in front of you, and that's weird. But, I mean, I don't care. Oh. Does anybody want this? This is the iTouch Wearables Air 3. It works on both Android and iOS devices. It does heart rate monitor, notifications, 7-day battery life, activity tracker, sports modes. It's not that great, but it does the job. More or less. So let me know if you want it. The charger will break on you probably within the first week of use. I know I'm still in this thing. The charger is this thing. It's just shit. Here, let me zoom in, focus. You see those little prongs? Oh, those things are going to bust and die on you almost immediately. Thankfully, they're only like $10 on Amazon. So if you want it, let me know. Give me your address and I'll ship it to you. Hey, we got a question. How much disk space did the Red Camera Utah trip take? Almost 5 terabytes. Yeah, almost 5 terabytes. That doesn't include any of the photos. But I don't know if that included any of Joey's drone footage. I guess I just told you who came with me. Joey Helms. That didn't include any of his drone footage. So I think, yeah, like 5.5 terabytes, I want to say, probably total from everything. 5 terabytes isn't bad. No, it's not. I mean, I didn't like go shoot a feature film, but it was wild. Some of the places we went to are absolutely wild. I had no idea they even existed in Utah. You always hear about like Canyonlands and Moab, and like Dead Horse, Grand Canyon, places like that. There are some places in Nowheresville, middle of Utah, that are absolutely bananas. They are so crazy looking, and I'm so glad that people don't know they're there, because Utah has become like just the epicenter for shitty tourists. Everywhere outside is just overly packed now. Everything's just packed to the brim with people, and so I really want to protect this place at all costs. Let's see, I'm guessing in the video you're dropping compare the experience. No, it's a completely different camera than the Komodo X, and I used the Komodo X to get some footage, and as like a backup camera in a way, and to do like the BTS, and also Joey was interested in getting one, so it was like, yeah, I'll bring mine, you can try it. Plus I met up with Gadgen, who's one of my favorite creators. It was super cool. He flew in, and I took him to Antelope Island, and he got to see buffalo for the first time, which was pretty rad. But no, this camera it has nothing to do with the Komodo X. There was like no point in comparing it, so it's nothing like that. It's really an experiment though. So it's just a big giant experiment, and all of the things that go wrong when you're doing an experiment. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Wild camera though, and I will say, getting to go to Jared's place, I got to see some really cool things that I can't share, but there's some pretty badass stuff coming out. How's Utah different from Colorado in terms of outdoor and nature stuff? How's it different? I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, if I didn't live in Utah, I would want to live in Colorado because it's so similar. But Utah, it's like the perfect hub to like everywhere. Like, you drive 5 hours and you're in Colorado. You get to go see all the cool stuff in Colorado, from like Vail, Telluride, Aspen. If you drive 5 hours, almost 6 hours, you're like in Vegas. You can go party in Vegas. Or if I drive 4 hours, I'm back in my hometown in southern Utah. 4 hours one way, you're in Moab. If I drive 10 hours, which isn't that far, I'm in California. You know, it's just a great hub. You can go to so many. Jackson Hole, Wyoming is like 4 hours away. So there's lots of cool stuff. But as far as it's like, I don't know, Colorado is, I would say it's, sometimes it feels more foresty. We've got that, but I like the forests of Colorado a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, you're in Denver a lot. Gotcha. You're describing Texas driving times. Yeah, I did. The other day, like, I saw somebody on like TikTok. He was like British, and he was like, "Why do people from the States measure things in time?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't really think about that. Like, that's easy for me. Like, I don't think about miles, which is an actual distance. I think about how long it takes me to get there. That just seems so much easier." Anyway, all right. I think we're good. Unless you guys have some final questions, I'm going to finally eat this meal. And then I have a wonderful meeting with a lady to tell me about health insurance. So that's what I'm jumping into. So if you got any final questions, we'll do it. If not, I will sign off and let you go back to living your lives. I don't know why I get so hyper when I do live streams. It just, I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm getting a sty. No, I don't think so. I used to get, I had physically induced anaphylaxis, which just meant I could have allergic reactions from physical activity. When I first started playing beach volleyball, I remember the first time I got picked up by a really good partner and played in a really big tournament. I was wearing sunglasses, thank God, because my entire face, my right side of my face, like swole shut. My right eye completely swole shut, and I had to play with one eye. And then after the tournament, I took my glasses off. He was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've got this condition." But anyway, all right, story time's over, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully at some point we can get this thing so much bigger, because trust me, it is so much more fun when there are a lot of people, because there's just lots of back and forth. I love it. Maybe I just need to get some guests, like 3 other camera angles. I don't know. Anyway, I will see you next Friday. That's the plan. The plan is to do one of these every single Friday. If you guys have a time that you're like, "Oh, I love that time. That's the time that works best for me," please let me know. I've been kind of experimenting with times. But anyway, next Friday, I'll catch you later. Peace.